Hello, I'm Ren Farnell. I work at UX Design as technical designer, and today we're going to be working on a UX update with the team from GADS. So recently we did some live streams with them and we looked at their first time user experience, and we pulled out a bunch of stuff from that and the Steam reviews to work on together for improving that onboarding experience, to improve some of the chaos. Some of the chaos is good, and some of the chaos we could clean up and make it more intentional and help players through their journey becoming a god in this universe. So first what we'll do is we'll take a look at their Steam video. So let's take a look at that. Awesome. So that's GADS, and that's already released. So let's take a look at their Steam page quickly. We've got some mixed reviews. It's towing the line between mixed and positive. Some people really love it. It's like Marmite, and some people, I guess, they play it solo and they don't have as good of an experience, or they would love to see more content, and so there's an expectation there. And we're going to help with that. We're working together to produce a UI UX update with them, and let's jump into it. So I'll close this down. I've got the engine right here, and we are going to actually before we even get into that, let's take a look at the tasks. So that review I mentioned, we sat down, firstly we play tested the game, we did a review of the first time user experience, the things that we got stuck on, the things that we found along the way, and then turn that into a series of, well, what's called a punch list or a hit list for the things that we think could really improve the game. Then we met up a second time to review that, and that went great. And from that we created this first update. So we're going to get this update done, we're going to push it out live, and we're going to see how that lands, and then we'll keep doing that process. So firstly, today we're going to look at the danger outline, which is the top right here. You can see this character is a dangerous character. He comes in and generally just destroys players. He's got a hammer or a spear that stabs. There's a spinning guy. There's a couple of really dangerous characters in the game, and in the chaos of all the different enemies, it's sometimes difficult to spot them. And there's a really difficult moment for the player to understand, like, what's the best thing I could do right now to really deal with this person. And one thing that we want to do is train the behavior to the player that we want them to do, which is to be the best guard. And so kicking, throwing an item at that character, blocking, any of these actions are actually a resolution for that dangerous enemy. But in order to highlight that moment, we're going to use this red outline. And so that's the first thing we're going to do. Secondly, critical items like health, sometimes very difficult to find for players, or they don't even know they exist. So they're running through the level and they're low on health, and they're like, oh, I don't know how to resolve this problem that I'm having. How do I heal, right? So if those items are actually glowing green, and when you see them, you're drawn to them because they're a new interactive color, I suppose, in the landscape, then you're going to be drawn to that. Same for mission items. One of the things that we noticed was that players would just run up and smash the critical mission item because it's bouncing and glowing and moving around. And so that's another thing that we're going to look at today. Those three will actually be designed as a system that it's like one material. It's going to be an overlay material. We'll get into that in a minute in Unreal Engine. So that'll support us for all three of those. And it'll also be something that we can drag and drop into the world. So it's a lot more simple for the Guards publishing partners we're working together with them on the console port. And so we want to make it as easy for them to integrate this. So from an integration standpoint, it's going to be very easy to drag and drop. The instructions are going to be put this in your scene, and then it's going to do its job. And then lastly, the danger close indicator. So time granted, if we get there, the idea is you've got a indicator that shows if an enemy is behind you. And so this isn't a great example because that triangle will actually be in, I believe it's going to be in, the curve, and a little bit cleaner, a little bit smaller, a little bit tasteful, but it will be there and it'll glow, give you an idea that someone's coming up from behind you. So oftentimes you'll take damage because someone's behind you. You can hear them, but in the chaos you can't really hear them, right? So the first time you know someone is there is when you get smacked and your screen goes red. So we want to give you like a warning, at least like a good 5-10 meters of space until that event occurs. Okay, so without further ado, let's actually jump into the editor. Okay, so doing this live, the first thing I'm going to do is get a feel for the game. So just hit play. We've got some shaders to compile. We've got some debugs coming up here. Okay, cool. Let's jump in. I think as it loads everything about the game, it's going to have a little bit of lag to begin with. Put some music on in the background here while I play. Okay, cool. So, okay. Well, we're not going to have enemies in this scene, so we know we need to sort that out. So, first check done. Can I actually run the game? Yes, I can run the game. Okay, cool. So next, I want to jump into maybe finding some levels. So I'm guessing, guards. Everything else seems like asset packs. So let's have a look. We've got maps. We want some kind of gym. We want some kind of template, some sort of gym that we can run around. There's a block out here. I don't know if that works. Miscellaneous. Which this will be where the gyms are. There's an APC level. Brawl. New map. Hubs, helmet maps. Waves test sounds quite promising. Would just like, let's find out what new map is. That one's capturing my attention. There's nothing in here. It's got PCG World Actor. Okay, so not that one. Test door map. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this level, we're going to duplicate it, we're going to create our own level, so that we can more easily get the scenario that we want to happen going. Okay, so yeah, we've got some sort of map here. I'm going to save this as a new level. We do guards, and then we'll actually just make a new folder, and we'll just call it update 1. Well, we'll call it Yuxif underscore. I'll just call it Yuxif. That'll be good, and then so call this the Yuxif map. So UX is fine as a company that does UI UX audits, iterations, integrations, artwork with clients. You can check them out on uxisfine.com. They've worked on some pretty cool titles. Okay, so we're working together with guards now to give an idea of what we do in the indie sphere. I'm literally going to delete as much as possible. I want to get rid of all these doors. Text. Get rid of that first. Get rid of all these polygon. Well, actually, we do want some enemies. So maybe we'll get rid of a couple of these enemies. This guy looks pretty dangerous. So let's keep him. Delete everyone else. Stick him in a folder. Call him danger test. Okay, so we want to keep the lighting. That's fine. We need to keep the post-processing volume, I guess. Keep the floor. Don't need these doors. Don't need this door. Don't need all of this stuff. These things as well. So we've got all these fracturable actors. So in this game, you run around and you charge through stuff. This is actually an objective, so we'll keep that. That'll be handy. Yeah, everything else can go. Hammer. Let's get all this stuff closer to us. Middle here. For some reason, when I go into game view, I'm getting this like horrible just white look. I'm a little bit unsure on. It's like I'm in some sort of optimization view that I don't want to be in. Yeah, unsure there. Cool, so let's take a look, shall we? Just checking up on some stream bits. Okay, cool. Yeah, what's going on with this lighting? There's also no game mode assigned. It's not very promising. I guess the default game mode is good. Yeah, we've got the fracture crate, got this item. Actually, I want to change this item while I'm here. Can I do that? Is that possible? What if I press Control B on this? No, it's just straight up the item. Okay, well, this is the items folder. We've got melee, misc. It's not there. Let's have a look in interactables. Maybe there's like, oh, there's pickups. It's promising. That is definitely a healing potion. Let's grab that. Just grab all the assets that we're going to need. I mean, that's those ones. Don't need that. Back to this lighting, odd lighting thing that's going on. Why is my entire scene like? Why is that guy see-through? I mean, that's pretty cool. But why is that guy see-through? It's like semi-see-through until I press G. Gonna make it a little bit hard to work in, but we're just gonna deal with that. Move on, because I think it's just gonna confuse us. Okay, so now when I hit play, guess if I make noise, he's going to turn around. Also guessing that the nav mesh, something up with the nav mesh. For the navigation, let's have a look. Navigation. There is navigation, but there's a big old hole in that navigation, which isn't the worst, to be honest, because we do want. Oh, what we'll do? Add a nav modifier. Stick that around that guy for now, and then we will build the paths. We'll rebuild that navigation for us, but keep him on that. We'll keep him on there. Okay. Which one are we starting with? We're back at the tasks here. We're starting with the danger outline, so deadly attacks and enemies will be outlined in red. So let's start with that. It needs to be a system that's dropped into the world at runtime, so that it's easy for integration, basically. Turn it on and off really easily. Don't want to edit too many classes or any classes, to be honest. So I'm just going to save this map. Let's get started on a new blueprint. Okay, so we got the Uxif folder, we got the Uxif blueprint class actor, BP_danger outline. Start there. I know that there's a mission in this game that tallies up all the enemies in the game, which means there's some kind of way of getting all the enemies. So I'm just going to type in mission. There's a mission there. We've got defeat Kingpin, escort, escape camp, hostages, waves. We'd suspect that that might do something to do with getting all the enemies. On enemy destroyed. Okay, so we've got an event graph. When the mission begins, bind to wave spawns. That's what we want. Get all actors with the tag this and bind to them spawning an actor. Okay, that sounds good. Start there. We'll call this bind to enemy spawned. What we need to do is we need to have that event, and then anytime an enemy spawns, we'll create a matching function for that. So this is on enemy spawn. We want to do that. We also probably this isn't fallback. This is get spawners. We also, after we've done that, we want to get any that were already in the world. So that's get spawners. But sequencing, let's jump down to the next one. So the next thing we want to do is just like get all AI in each. I need to find out what this guy is. So he is a BP polygon AI, so that works. Yeah. Class BP polygon. Sweet. And for all of these guys, we're gonna have to. It's just something. Oh, that's already what we need. So promote that to enemies. Let's actually do that first, and then run the binding. So we'll call this init enemy array. One time at the start of the level, it's going to run. A couple of things before I forget. Let's turn off the tick. Yep, this is allowed to load on client because this is actually only going to happen on the client. So we'll run an actual can execute cosmetic events for this function because this is definitely cosmetic, and then we'll bind to enemy spawns. We have an array of enemies. We are running this on cosmetic only, which means it's not going to run on a dedicated server, but this isn't run on dedicated, so it's actually not necessary. Game dev in a nutshell, yeah. Okay, so enemy spawning, bind actor spawned, that's cool. What does this function do? It comes out with spawned actor. Let's look at waves. Let's look at this. Okay, so we want this, and we want this. We don't need to. Oh, we suppose we do need to cast it. Okay, well, let's just do a similar thing, but we're going to add it to enemies. Boop, boop, boop. Factor, cool. From here, what we should be able to do is get mesh. Just testing something out quickly, just double check what I'm thinking. I'm going to add an overlay material to this. Overlay material. Set overlay material. This is how we're going to do the red outline. We're going to have a new material that sits on top. But we also need to determine which enemy types we want to do that to. And so I need to know how this enemy is actually defined. There's a config here, it's a data table, it has a row name. Let's have a look at that data table. It is quite the row name. Wonder if it would be nice if there was a thing in here that I could just add to this, but I can't add to this easily. What I'm going to do is I'll just give this tool the ability to define a row, and if that guy is the row, then we're good. We'll hope that that works fine. Yeah, we'll see. There might be some latency involved, so a little bit concerned. Okay, so we'll run a function called update all gnarly enemies. No, deadly enemies. We'll call them. Update all deadly enemies, or just apply outline to deadly enemies. Okay, so what we do is we just go through this. What would be nice is if we've already done this, we wouldn't do it again. And so in fact, instead of even caching them into an array, let's not do that. Let's not do that at all. Let's just each through this. Let's not cache it and loop it. Looping it every single time a new enemy spawns would just be horrible. So we'll do that. We'll add a polygon AI as an input for this function, and we'll just run this function on them immediately. Name that input as enemy, and then anytime this happens, we'll cast and we'll throw the enemy in like this. Easy. Apply outline to enemy. So now we just have this one function. Bind to enemy spawned. We have on enemy spawned, runs the outline as well. Apply the outline to the enemy. Get the mesh. Cool. We also want to get a config, I think it was called. Config data. Character setup. Oh, that looks like a little bit too much. Let's get row. What was that variable called? It's just called config. Get config. Okay. Strange. Ah, get config, not get config data. See, now this is a variable. Bind config. Bind event to config update. Yeah, we're going to need to do this. Okay, let's create a function for this. So the idea here is these two dots mean that I might know about the enemy, but his config may not have been updated for me yet. So that would be bad. Because it's replicated, it will get updated at some point, and this config updated event is when. So what we can do is we can say, if this is valid, which is possibly valid by default, it is valid by default. So we're going to have to do it twice in the event that it changes. Okay. That's fine. Apply outlines deadly enemies. Enemy is as an input, so this will clean the graph up a little bit. That's nice. Alrighty, so we got mesh, we got yeah, it's always going to be valid, so it doesn't really matter. We could do a contains on this. That's a key map. Contains in an array. We'll just promote this to a variable called row names. Enemy row names. This would be a little bit of manual labor for somebody, but you can copy and paste the list, so that's fine. Select function. Yeah, well, we need a new one. Anytime the config gets updated. Oh my god, it doesn't come out. It doesn't come out with the... it doesn't have an input. It doesn't have the enemy. That's a useless function. That is a useless function. Whatever... what other config updated doesn't have a signature? Basically useless. I'd have to... Can't update the default classes. It's not allowed. So now I am going to need an array. and I am going to need to loop it every single time a single entity's config updates. Luckily, there's only like 10 or 20 of them on screen at a time, so this isn't the end of the world, and I'm just going to have to accept it, and so is everybody else. Let's redo that array. Okay, init the array, bind to this, add to the array. We'll also bind config updated here. Create that event, which was this one. On and then config updated. We will go back to, let's just start from the beginning, bind to enemy spawned. This happens, and for each one of, in fact, I don't even want to do that, just for each one of these, we're going to run the apply outline to dead enemies. We're going to run on enemy spawned. It thinks it's, pretends like it's spawned, does the same functions, basically. Do is just like init enemy, and we need to keep it contextual. Danger outline. So first, we add the enemy to the array so that we can always run it. We configure, so we bind this to configure, and then we do apply outline to deadly enemies, which does no longer have this. This is just going to for loop. That array is like never more than like 20, 30, so it'll be fine. Put this in here. Promote this to a local variable on the enemy. Use that variable down here. Okay, so as long as the rows are contained, we're going to apply the red overlay material, which we're going to go and make in a second, and we'll test it on this first guy. And the way we do that is we come in here and we set the overlay material to a new material. Okay, so just one more time for check-in. On begin play, bind to enemy spawned. We get all the enemies and we init their ones that exist. We init their outline. We get all the spawners. We check whenever that spawns an actor, we will also init their enemy outline. We will do config updated. What I'll do here is I'll actually put a function in this says, and I can't put a function in there. Damn, I can't do that. I've got to split these functions up a little bit more. Problem is, the beginning of the game, what I've just realized, is because I'm running this. If I then run this, and I kind of want to update, I want to apply the outline. But the outline for loops, so it's going to be like, add the first one, for loop it, add the second one, for loop 2, add the next one, for loop 3, add the next one, for loop 4. So as it grows, it's just an exponential problem. So I need to split my functions out just a little bit more. Bind to enemy spawned. We're going to do actors of all class. We're going to init the danger outline. No, we're not. We're going to change this to add or register enemy or outlines. It needs the same signature. It's the same signature as this. Okay, so that just registers. That's all that does. Event graph. So this register enemy graph. That's cool. This one enemy spawn. Register the enemy for outlines. Apply the outlines. Additionally, run this out. Yeah. That should be it. Logical flow now. So we register any enemy and we don't do anything else. If his thing updates, then we update the outline. If his config updates, we update the outline, because he may or may not now be a config within the enemy row names that we care about, because we don't want to do this to everybody. Find it. That's good. And then at the end of that, we actually just go through the array and we apply it. Next up, we come down here, we enemy spawn, we spawn like this. This guy has now spawned something. If it's an AI, we're going to do this. Let's go back to, yep. And it is always going to be an AI, so we don't need to worry about that, but then we're going to apply this. Okay, cool. Next up, one thing I've just realized while I'm writing this is that spawner A, does the spawner trigger the logic on the client? And B, what if it's out of range and then the enemy comes into range? Maybe the simple drag drop for this system is a component directly on the character, which means it will run any time the character comes in and out of rep range. So I'm pretty sure these characters are not always relevant, but if they are, then I guess what's their relevancy like? Yeah, not always relevant. Yeah, okay. The simpler drag drop for this is to just do it as a component. So let's just do it as a component. It's going to be far easier. Which I thought about 5 minutes ago. Or how long ago now? 30 minutes ago, I suppose. Okay, so let's just kill the danger outline. Let's go back in here. Let's make a component. Active component. BP underscore outline component. How's it going to work for these characters? So BP underscore danger outline. Get in there. That's the polygon. Assign config. Function, update outline. Take a look back at this and we'll grab this function. Now you don't even need to open the levels, just need to add this component. Material. I mean, it's going to be a red one, so I'll figure that out in a moment. It's not going to be variable. This is an array, that's called. First dude in the array is goblin underscore chieftain, so I'll add that by default. Cool. All right. Wow, look, it's done. We're also going to update the outline as soon as we're spawned, in case that config has already reached us, and we'll also add it here. In fact, just do it like this. I'm going to have an input. I'm just going to promote this to a local variable I enemy. Okay, easy. Again, this doesn't need to tick, so we're going to turn that off. It's going to keep the performance nice and simple. Okay, so I can now go and delete the blueprint. We're not going to drop that into every level. We're going to drop this component onto this polygon AI. So call this outline. Change your outline component. There we go. Now we need to make the material. So let's do that right now. Material. M_danger outline. Some kind of messages on. Okay, where am I at right now?
Sorry for?
Nope. Alrighty. Save everything, don't want to lose any content. We'll go back to that material. It's going to be an outline material. Haven't done an outline material in a while. We're going to quickly learn how to do that. An overlay material, I should say. Overlay material. UE5. In fact, there might be an even quicker way of doing this. Blueprint UE. If only my internet was as fast as my thought process. Come on. Yeah. It takes a while. Okay, cool. Search. Overlay. Advanced detail overlay, overlay post-process overlay. Overlay toggle UA overlay. Overlay outline material. Thank you very much, sir. Grab that. Collapse this. Paste it in. Oh. Right, grab all of this. What we got? We got emissive, opacity, world position. Okay. Emissive. It is probably masked. Would make it cheaper if it was masked. Translucency is a little bit more expensive. Save that. For the danger outline, obviously, it's going to be red. Do a little bit darker here. Sweet. Okay, apply that. Save. Let's take a quick look at that actually in the viewport just by manually applying it. Overlay. Overlay material. M_danger. We make this into a material instance as well. Apply that instead. Look at that. Overlay material max draw distance. It's literally primitive max distance, which is awesome. That's going to cheapen it a lot. So I'll have to set that as well. Overlay distance. That's cool. We'll do 15 meters to start with. Oops, it's a local variable. Promote this to an actual variable. Find max distance. That's an awesome optimization. I'm happy about that. This is the danger outline inst. Save everything. Very cool. Getting messages all over the place. All right. I'm pretty sure that's not working. By virtue of the fact I see nothing happening here. I'm gonna bring up the instance here. All that. Let's thickness. Bit with on it. Probably two-sided. Thing is, it's got a two-sided sign in there. Oh yeah, now something's happening. Awesome. Let's go back. Yeah. I'm not keen. Keen on this person's version of an outline shader. But it definitely does something. So let's just test, before we get too gritty into the material work, I will actually come back to that as an iteration. For now, what I want to do is hit play and see it actually work at runtime. Yeah, cool. So he's got it. Let's make another enemy. And this person will be a different character class, and that will tell us that this is good. So we'll say that's just the regular goblin runner. Does he really need to be red? Probably not. Whoa. It's also active. Yeah. As you can see in the top left, I'm preparing all the sound waves for the game and the shaders while I play, because it's not going to load everything for me. Okay, awesome. So he does have a red outline. It's difficult to see. I'm not a massive fan on how that went. I'm going to change this opacity mask. I might dither it as well. We'll get rid of this guy because we know that works now. Oh yeah, you red. Okay, so you go over there. I'll get my material on this side. Okay. So now we'll just work on the material for a second, because we want that to look cool. Does this game use temporal AA? Let's have a look at that. Anti-aliasing. It does use temporal anti-aliasing. Awesome. Which means that we can use dithering. And we can... I mean, sure. Can we just put a random in there? I don't know. Alpha threshold scalar. We'll just call it scalar. Just put that point. I don't know, 0.4. Put that into the opacity mask. Back to the here. Thickness. I mean, what's that even doing now? That is pretty funny, yeah. Yeah, we'll just go 0.1. Just bring this down. So one of the other things is that maybe he should only do it when he's swinging. That gives you like half a second to do it. Is what it is. Let's try and get it to only trigger when he's swinging. Very difficult. So we've got an AI. We're going to collapse this to a function called. No, we're not going to do that. Create event. Make a matching event. How about we just use config update that? There we go. Collapse this to a function. And config update. I hate Unreal sometimes. You just got to remake the nodes. Cool. This, collapse this to a function. Oh, init. what that basically allows me to do now is put all my functionality for this enemy in here. We'll call this target. Target, yep. Okay. Get GSC. I think it's called GSC component. Get the ability system. Get GA underscore attack. Be like a gameplay ability in melee. Should have a tag. It has a tag here called combo, but maybe not all attacks have combos. This ability's tag is equipped item melee. That's what we want. Bind tag. Bind. Okay. Let's do this here. Bind tag. Bind. I know for a fact that there's like an event for some sort of gameplay tag event. Let's go look at the event graph here. Find event on gameplay tag changed. That's a good one. Try that. Or we can just do on ability activated. Oh, that's unbind. Bind ability activated. Bind event to ability activated. Create an event. Function for that. On ability activated. That's melee. That happened. We will take the outline, input, on, turn it on. Need another. Well, I have two events. It's not an enable outline. That's it. Means we can call this from any class. Particular about that, I think. Yeah, now we can call these from anywhere. So when the ability gets activated, we can enable the outline, and then so what's this coming from? A GSC core component. A GSC core. Going on, Loki can explain beans. Can I explain beans? Yes, beans. So early in the project, we wanted to do taunts. We wanted the enemies to make a sound, you know, when they're coming to attack you, so you knew that they were coming. And I had a voice pack that had a bunch of stuff in it. But the funniest one was beans. And so I pitch shifted it down and then shoved it in there, and it stayed. It stayed. Course, test of time. And my my contextualization is they actually live in a sort of like dystopian world where they're just really, really hungry, and they're actually really, really dumb. And so the only word that they retained was the one that's ultimate for their survival, and it's beans. That's my contextualization. Don't quote me on that for the deep lore, but okay. On ability activated, cool. Ability on, ability ended. Oh, great. Of course, you're just going to. Can I just have custom event? Cool. On ability. Oh, what's going on? Stop doing this. Activated. I'm just going to do this right here. It's fun. Custom melee. And we'll pass this to melee. So that ended. Then we'll stable out. Stable outline. Cool. Don't really need that now. I'm going to init the enemy. Yeah, I should really follow through with my own values here when I'm coding things, which is that these go in here. Find ended. Create an event for this, you create an event for this, you plug this into target. Just queue on all these, throw these up here. Just keeps it clean, also keeps it readable, keeps it reusable, extendable, on ability activated. Right, on ability activated event, we're going to get rid of that one. Config updated. Yeah, good point. Where is that function gone? Okay, the function disappeared. Or I deleted the wrong thing. So we're just going to create a new matching function for this on config updated. When that happens, we're going to update the. It's on a B. There's a bunch of things I need to do right now. First, to clean this up, I only want to check this once, and that's when I'm going to bind to the attacking. So, I'm going to init the enemy. I'm going to say when the config is updated. Additionally, if the config, in fact, we're just going to call on config updated immediately, because it might be the case that it already was updated. And if it was updated, we're going to ask if the where was that function? Update outline. We're going to ask if this adding it to the wiki. Yeah. Local variable enemy. Cool. Where are we at here with the stream? We're on 55 minutes and we haven't actually finished the first one. I do want to get one done per hour. We're close. It's going to be on the attack soon. We can iterate from there. Get the owner, cast a polygon. Is it the enemy? Does it contain it? If it does, then we're going to bind it, because now we care. That in there. Oh, that. Brush everything. Okay. Then, if this happens, enable the outline. If this happens, disable the outline. Sweet. That. This data table, I don't need to worry about it. Someone else can configure all of the danger outlines, or I can do it another day offline. Okay, so run through this one last time. Begin play. Init the enemy. If his config changes, or immediately check if he is of the right name, which is in this case just the one, but we'll add more. then bind to attack and not attack. When he does attack, enable the outline. When you do that, update the outline. May as well just do this. Keep it in there. Really just promote this to a full variable because I know this is going on. We know this is going on an enemy, so let's just not cast every single time we check. Never not going to be valid because it's attached to an enemy. Run out of music. That's my signal that it's been an hour. Play that same song again. That's fine, that's fine. Update the outline. Let's put you on there. You on like that. Branch. If it's on, set the outline to this. If it's not, we'll set the outline to none. Make these variable. An error. But yeah, you don't need an input. Oh, got rid of a bunch of casts. Okay, so now when we play. Despite having a clear outline on that character while he was being deadly, I failed to... Yeah, I mean, I tried to kick, but he attacks way faster than I can kick. But all the sounds are loading. Can I get you to drop your weapon? I mean, he's definitely red when he needs to be. Okay. Oh, I died. Don't really like that dither effect, but it's the cheapest way of doing this. It's only going to be on the deadly enemies that are within 15 meters, so I could use translucency, sorry, and that would mean I can make it at least look prettier. Let's try that. Let's go translucent, and let's just go 1. We'll go like 0.4, make that a scalar, call it opacity. Could have just done that. The fact that he does... I can't really test it without him actually being attacking. So I guess I've got to get attacked by it. That definitely did not work. Oh, right, yeah, because I didn't change the alpha. That down to 0.4. And then when he stops, he does that. So that's cool. Okay, so that's that stuff. Right. Now, we could say that we've done the danger outline. It happens on specific enemies when they attack. And it's like 1 or 2 or 3 files. So let's have a final look at the files here. We've got this, we'll do a new folder, we'll call it danger outline. And we'll put the files for that in there. So that's that system. That can be iterated on. Next one, new folder. What's it called? Item outline. Okay. So when I hit play and I look around, He's bouncing around, but he doesn't look important. He's just like, he's kind of outlined. Yeah, it's kind of outlined. Pretty cool, but not. It's not like, it's not super clear. So I want to overlay this whole thing with a green, which just eliminates the fact that it used to be red. And then this one, again, like this just doesn't have an outline on it at all. I feel like we might be missing a post-process material on this level. Okay, so what's going on with the post-process? Yeah, we got the location, but we do not have asset reference. We'll just guess. It's like some sort of outline. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of them. So we're going to save this level. We're going to go back to the hub, which is like called hub or something. Hub GM, hub roof, hub. Let's try hub world. This is now going to take us to this level. We can take a look at the post-process volume in here. It also doesn't have it. So that makes me think polygon character BP. Template character? Like my oldest code. The camera in here probably has the post-process on it, which means I do have the post-process and it is PPI outline. Okay, so I can go back to the UXIF map that we made. Okay, so I need to reply to an email, so I will be right back. And we'll crack on with the gold and green outlines on critical mission assets and on healing items, which is what these two items represent. And then later we'll work on the danger post indicator for the last hour of the stream, but I will be right back.
About it right now, everything's okay. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life, underneath it all, everything's actually all right. You're okay. You have more power than you might be giving yourself credit for. And if you have something that's going on in your life right now that's challenging, a reminder to take a little bit better care of yourself. You're worth it. You can have this feeling anytime you choose.
Lesson learned for next time, set the video to loop, and that would be a lot better. Okay, so we're back. We've done the danger outline. I do want to make a quick iteration to it. While I was away, I checked out something. So let's have a look at the danger outline. I want to multiply this by sine. It's applied to time. We could multiply one of these later. Just plug this in here, plug that in there. Now what we should get. Hello? No? Not doing anything? Okay. Interesting. Alright, anyway. Welcome back. Welcome back. So get rid of this. Check out this. Ah, right, it's not real time. There we go. We want to have a minimum on this. So we'll go, well, I think just do it like this, 0.1. Create a max. Do it the wrong way around. Place it a little bit more alive. Play against this guy one last time. We'll add this to the tutorial in a bit. But first what I want to do, and I think I'm going to do this with a component again. So what we'll do is we'll actually copy, we'll copy one line from here, which is this one. Save all of this, create a new component inside the critical item outline. Do a new blueprint actor component BP underscore, we'll just call this like colored outline component. We'll get the owner. We will get all components, get components of class, get any primitives for each of those. We'll run this code. Be a mesh component. Okie dokie. Mesh component. For each. Mesh component. We will apply an outline as a maximum distance. 1500. It's a variable. Can we then get the overlay material? We can. And we can set the vector parameter, a set parameter. Yeah. For audio, don't want to do that. Okay, well, it's not going to work. But what we'll do is we'll promote this to a variable, which is the overlay material. So you can actually set this on an instance basis. We'll go and grab this outline, copy it over here. This is going to be green by default. Dither, but that's okay. I'm going to use this. It's also fine. We'll create a material instance for this, and this will be healing. Create another one for emission. That's cool. Right. Another thing, we'll get to that in a bit. There's a hostage that we also need to sort out as well. Okay. Like that. Alrighty. So for the mission one, that's going to be gold. All healing items, as far as I know, come from a consumable. But this can have an outline component on the consumable. I need to really start keeping notes on how to integrate all this. No, okay, so one, well, we've got damage outline. Add BP underscore damage outline underscore component to BP underscore polygon. So I need to send this over to the team that's working on this game. BP polygon has got AI. That's that. Item outlines. One, add BP underscore, did I call it item outline or something? What did I call it? Colored outline component, cool. Add colored outline component to BP underscore item underscore consumable 2. Add BP colored outline component to set material to m underscore go find this in the content browser. Not really an outline, but it's okay. Pollard. In British. I do write in American. Put the material to this and add this to BP underscore, and I'll need to go and find out if this has parent class that's relevant. Probably not. Yeah, director holdable. Okay, so there's going to be a series of those that I need to note down. So add it to Fracture Create Narcotics and set material to do all of that. I think it's like this one is one of the other mission items. I think there's another one for the 3rd district. Might be the fairy cage. Might be the ore. I can't remember what. I can't remember what assets you get from every district. Okay, mission underscore. Actually, I think there's like a well generation blueprint or something. So it's like BP engine manager, engine manager. Oh yeah, look at this. It looks good. Mission. Gather evidence. Anything with the collect marker. I don't know. Maybe if World Design is around, you can remind me. I actually don't know. Is it this that we collect? This and like maybe this? What the hell is this fairy cage for? Reference viewer. Whoa. Crazy. Know that this is something in a mission. I just don't. Looks like we're gonna have to like actually play the missions. I will message them on the side here. Oh, there should be like missions. I think they have a missions thing. They have a missions folder. Maybe in gameplay. It's gameplay. There's like a banner. It's like a BP flag or something. Control P. BP flag. BP banner. Okay, then I don't know. Blueprints, let's get rid of that. What about banner? Signpost. Yeah, look at this. Okay. BP signpost. Event graph. Right, there we go. Create. Oh, it's 2 things on this level. Interesting. Fair enough. It's like, that's not confusing. Oh, destroy narcotics, yeah. Okay, well, either way, it's, that's also going to need a gold thing, because that's the thing that you need to destroy. Destroy narcotics, right. Okay, so back to the fracture actors it's also this. What we could do is we could say add this to this, 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 and why isn't this wrapping? Word wrap. Cool. Item outlines. Add the colored one to the consumable items and set it to healings. Add it to narcotics, crate ore, fairy cage, fairy ore, and set it to mission. Easy. Which I will do right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add outline. Oh, I added the wrong one. Add outline. Add the colored outline component. Set it to mission. It's that one. Compile that. The default for this, the default for this needs to actually be healing. Now, without further ado, whoa! Oh yeah, I suppose those are meshes. That's cool-ish. Need to play with the material. That's not good. That's not good at all. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go back to this and we'll just get the first element instead of going through each. We are... It's too many. That's cool. It gets really bright though. So let's just close all other tabs. Being messaged. What we want to do is go to the UXIF folder, critical item outline, this one here. We want to set the default max for this to 0.4, and we want to set the default thickness of this to 0.1. And then when we go back to the game, yeah, or something like, hey, come get this. Wow, you're still really bright though. Let's just play one more time, see if it fixes. Oops, not. Ah, yes, finish the color. Save.
There are things to kill over there.
Yeah, cool.
This is better be good.
Wait, it's like, hey, go grab this. Pick it up. It's going to flash in my eyes the whole time. So what we need to do is we're going to apply this material, but then we're also going to say get owner cast to, like, is there a common parent? Fracture actor holdable. Its common parent is fracture actor. Its common parent is BP item. Does it have? It's fractured and it has kicked. BP item has item pick up and drop. So it's those two events we care about. Pick up and drop. That's to BP item. Sign pick up. Sign drop. Then enable outline. And then save outline. In fact, what we'll do is we'll just do a function set outline enabled. with an input. Ooh. On. Go back here. We will grab this. I'm going to set it on by default. Think about that a little bit more in a second, because if you come in range, your friend is holding it, then it's going to be glowing from the moment that you see it, which is no good. Anyway, so when it's picked up, the outline goes off. When it gets dropped, the outline goes back on. So that's going to make that feel a lot nicer, because we don't want that glowing when it's in our hands. That would be annoying. For this, I think when an item gets picked up, it gets given an owner or something like that. Typically in replicated games, when something gets picked up, you're going to ensure that the person holding it is like an owner or an attached actor or something like that. So yeah, see, the owner of this becomes this guy. I don't know if that's replicated. Don't know enough about the code base to make good assumptions right now. What's replicated in here? Last owner is not replicated. I'm going to say owner is probably replicated. So let's just do this part first. If it's on, it's this. If it's not on, we just disable it. Like we don't have an input. That's all good. Go back here. We say if the owner is is the owner is an active claim. Is that thing's owner valid? And if it's not valid, then we'll do that. So what this says is, on begin play, when I see this crate or potion or any item in the game, if it does not have an owner, then I should glow, because that means I'm on the floor. If it is owned, then it's going to be off. And then we've got this pick up and drop, which I think is for everyone. So now let's go take a look at that.
I smell man flesh.
I need you to punch me, please. Oh. Yeah, he got me. He got me real good. Can you do like 1 damage? Okay, we need some sort of damage volume. Damage. Volume. Thanks, game devs. Just call it damage volume. Make life easy. Details. How much damage? 1 damage. Ow. Oh, you just drink this. Okay. There we go. Cool. Drop it. Ooh. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? So pickup works, but drop doesn't. Pickup. Drop. Okay. Bind and equip. Try that instead. Then we'll use bind equip for this function, just to keep things clean. The fact that drop doesn't trigger is concerning for this code base. No, that outline was still on. It's not good. Cool. There we go. One last thing that I would also say is we probably don't need this if it has, for that one, if it's touched the like the goal goal zone. Yeah. Extract zone. Mission extract zone. Let's go take a look at this. Oh, Bobby. Box. Custom. It overlaps with our items. Does this actor have a tag of any kind? No. What I could maybe do is I could say bind overlap. Bind actor begin overlap. I would create a custom event on overlap. And I would say, hey, is this an extraction zone? And if it is, I would set the outline to false. I would also say get owner, get overlapping actors of the type extract zone. I would update the condition over here for whether it can be highlighted. These names, I am equipped, I am unequipped. Unequipped. Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat. I keep forgetting. Right, cool, we're good. I'm gonna convert this to a function just called like can row outline. That'll be a nice pure const. So it cannot edit functionality. Can glow. It can glow as long as there's not an owner and as long as this is empty. The idea there is that when I drop it next time... Oh, well actually I'll show you the problem. Firstly, we have this, that's cool. If I show collision, there's a little area there, which is absolutely useless. Let's make this bigger. What's going on with that? That's a weird way of doing what would be the extract zone? Oh no! Well, let's just double check what the extract zone does. I might be looking at the wrong thing. Check overlap. I need to actually go to a level. I need to actually try something here. So like dungeon, like city or something maybe. Lower city. I hope it saved my map. So we're here. Let's go window levels. Let's find this level. Modules lower C. There's just one module I want to look at in particular, and it's the start spawn room here. I do still have T. Okay, I I feel like this is debugging the distance field. Now that I see this level, this is definitely how it looks when you're debugging the distance fields. So I'm actually going to fix that right now because it's been bugging me for a while and I've just realized what it is. So this is the complexity of the generated distance fields. Yeah, so let me turn that off. UE5 disable distance field debug view. Show, visualize, and select mesh distance fields. Show, visualize, mesh distance fields. Ah, would you look at that? Perfect. So let's go to unlit. Okay, now, so what I needed to look at was this. What is this? It's an escort goal. Let's copy that. Let's go to our UXIF level. What I basically, oh, you're still enabled in this view. Cool. At least now I know what you are. Go away. If there is an escort goal, which is it could honestly do with a extract zone for me to be able to see where that volume is. The idea is if this is glowing and then I pick it up and it stops glowing and then I drop it and it starts glowing, if I drop it in the zone that I'm supposed to and then it starts glowing, it's kind of prompting you to pick it back up again, which of course is bad UX because you don't need to pick it up. You've done the thing you were supposed to do. So the moment it enters this box, we're going to disable the behavior. And if you pick it up or drop it again, we're going to use this can show outline to determine, whether we can actually show the outline again. So although this says on, we actually need it to have this function in here. And what we could do is we're going to do this. I was going to call this update outline and then get rid of this Boolean, but best practice is to create functions with explicit function. So you can turn this outline on and off, and then something else determines which one to call, rather than just having an update function that says, this is how it should be. It's not always the best way to code, I've found. Okay, so now we also know that we're actually casting to the wrong thing here, so it's called, what was it called?
No matter what kind of stuff is going on in
This
your life,
box, and it's called an escort goal.
underneath it all, everything's actually all right.
So we'll pass this to escort goal.
You're okay. You have more power than you.
And if it did succeed to do that, we'll turn it off.
You have something that's
And we'll also, in the can show outline, we'll get classes of escort goal.
painful.
This is just an array of actors. Cool.
A little bit better care of yourself.
Okay, play.
Worth it.
Okay. Cool. So no longer glows. If I kick it outside the area though. Yeah. So that's funny. That's fine though, because it's basically saying like, hey, take it back. You can actually destroy it once it's in there as well, so it doesn't matter too much. Lastly, there's a hostage. Let's sort out the hostage. So in the configs, we want royalty. I have a cat trapped in my room. I will sort the cat out. Okay, I'm back. This character, which is just a BP polygon AI with this, there is a hostage here, there is an escort target here, There's an escort enemy here. I don't actually know if hostage is being used anymore. Let's have a look. Player room. Mission hostages. Let's go back to the... We had... What was it called? Dungeon Manager, maybe? And then we had these missions here. And so if we're doing a hostage rescue, we're going to look for markers that are spawning civilians. There is one mission where you have to escort a chieftain out of the area. But theoretically, we should just need to add it to this class. So we would add outline, colored, and set it to mission. One of these in it. It's not an item. Not going to work because this wants everything. This wants to be an item, so let's rename this to below component. See, what's m underscore item below? Just keep thing name consistency. My underscore item below underscore healing. My underscore item below underscore method. Go back to our notepad and make sure that that's represented. Item below component. I'm going to add it to all those. So I'm going to add the colored outline component, which we'll also rename to rename file. I'm going to come back here. No, I'm going to come back here. Critical item outline. We'll call this item below. Got the danger outline. Let's just make sure that we fix redirectors on this folder since we just renamed a bunch of stuff. We do not need to save anything there. Okay. Critical item outline should technically be empty now. Of course, something in here. Other redirectors. Fix up. Delete. Okay, so we've got item glow. Also picks up. Danger outline, we'll call this character glow. Call this m_character glow. Call this mi_character glow_danger. Create a duplicate of that, we'll call this character glow mission. Save that, fix this redirector, jump into character glow. So this is what we need to add to this civilian. So I'm going to delete this and add character glow. A branch in here that's true by default. Say always on. And if it's not always on, we only do it whilst we're attacking. But if we are always on, then we just enable the outline. Cool. We also need to make this to a variable. Just the overlay material, and that can be a variable. Then on the civilian, what we do is we copy the name, we go back to our guide. This is now called character load component. We add it. Okay. Character below component to BP polygon AI. MI underscore danger 2 BP underscore below component to BP underscore well, I put it on my clipboard, so BP corner civilian material to MI underscore character. Save this. Save it to desktop for now. Guards. That's that. Do what I said. Set this to mission. I'll actually edit this to be gold 0.4. It's always on by default, I just remembered. So character glow, this always on here. This should be off on here. And it should be on here. Put that into my notes. Screen chat. Good. Okay, so where are we at right now? We need to add one more note on here. Set always on for the civilian. And then we'll go look at them, make sure that that's working as intended. That. Of course you're not working. Let's have one more look here. Polygon civilian has a character glow component, which is always on. Edit that. On the event, begin play. We try and cast them to Polygon AI. They are a Polygon AI. I'm going to rename this to target. Ah, yes. Target row names, of course. You know what? I can also say, and if it's empty, which it won't be. I could just make a separate one for. Although they share a lot of functionality, they definitely don't care about being attacks, and they literally only care about. This one is just like always on, so it's kind of different. It's no longer the danger outline. I might go back and actually rename everything one more time because I'm really anal about this sort of stuff. It really matters to me that these things are called what they are and they're used in certain scenarios. I do like reusable components, but this is one of those times where it would have been better to have like a base class that knows about characters and then one does one thing, one does the other as a child, etc. I'm trying to do this quickly and effectively with the least number of steps. Which, that said, we could just say, or always on, enable outline. In fact, you could say, go earlier. You could be like, if it's always on, just turn it on. Otherwise, it needs to be in this array. Then we'll do this. That'll do. Get rid of this. If it's always on, it's always on. Don't check the row names. Happy days. Responding here. Once more with feeling. There we go. So he glows. It's like, this is definitely the person you care about. Look at this icon as well. I'm running through the map, right? I've had this so many times. I'm running through the map. I'm like, where's the hostage? Where's the hostage? I can't find the hostage. Where are they? Where are they? And like, it would have been nice if this marker was available at a much larger distance. So what we're going to do quickly, this was on the list. Just killing two birds with one stone while I'm actually here. There's a marker component on this guy somewhere. BP marker. Maximum distance. We're just going to up this to 50 meters. So now, let's say I'm all the way over here. Wow, 5,000 is further than I thought. Yeah, 50 meters might be too much. Let's do 25 meters. Okay, so we're over here. We're moving towards, we're moving through the level. We're like smashing down doors, punching dudes, and I've got this marker on my screen. I'm like, oh, there's something over there, and there's like walls in the way and stuff. So we're good. So we pick this person up. Hey, follow me. Tells you that they're still following you, which is nice. Get a good idea of whereabouts they are. They're still glowing, which is good. If I get far enough away, it was 15 meters. Yeah, so that that glow is no longer happening. But when they're in a range that matters, when combat is a thing and you don't want to punch this person, now we're good. So you should stay. You should follow me. Stay. Okay. Okay, so back to the task list. Where are we at? We've got the red outlines. We've got the mission outlines. We've also got it on the hostages. We've got the health stuff. We've got a couple of edge case conditions handled. I'm sure there'll be more after testing. Last thing to do is this damage close indicator, which is for enemies that are behind you, running at you. We want to sort of show a moving, or at least just an indicator, like whoop, whoop, whoop. It doesn't even need to be moving. It would be nice to have one of those that has like several, but there's so many scenarios where there's like 10 guys behind you that you just have this noise of all these icons like per enemy. So instead, I'm just going to develop one glow that goes at the bottom of the screen that shines off down there with a little exclamation that's just like whoop, 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 just ebbs while there's someone behind you. And that's just going to give you an idea that they're behind you, because otherwise it's going to be too noisy and it's just going to add to the chaos. So that's the last one. Let's finish that one up and then we're done for the day. We can all go have an afternoon tea. Okay. It's going to be easy as well because there's a guy right there. So first off, we're going to need Photoshop. So I'll be right back while I open a few programs. And right, okay, so we've got Photoshop open. First things first, we need a circle. It's not a circle, that's a circle. Okay, new layer, smash that onto the white channel there, move it, let's make a duplicate. Using that as the mask will cancel out the... Okay, that didn't work, I did it wrong. You're wrong. Okay. Take this whole layer, duplicate it up, grab. Okay. PC is doing something. I don't know what I just did. W. Is W not what I want anymore for that key? W. That key. Cool. Okay, cancel that out there. Close this. Right, that's the beginning of our indicator. I also want to like mask this vertically, so I'm gonna want something like this. So it's so that's nice. We'll also mask out maybe a circle down here. That we'll get a kind of need what is like game icons.net. This is nice. It's royalty free. I know these guys have used it before. Okay, privacy shield. I don't know what that is. I am a human. Game icons. Ah, I spelled it wrong. Letting it load. Okay, so loaded. Right, so in here we can go like warning. And if it would load, cool. It's not perfect by any means. I guess we'll take this one, probably clean this one up the easiest. This just like saves me a bit of time. Right, paste that. Nope. Okay, I'm just going to do this like the old-fashioned way. That in there. Give me a guide. And then in white. Okay. Actually, just didn't like that thing apparently. So we'll come in here and create a new mask. I'll also create a new layer. We'll use a text for the exclamation mark. Exclamation. We'll do 100. Yeah. Invert the color if we can. Black. It's easier to see. Oops. Use this as a guide on here. It's meant to just sit down here. Realized I should have used this shape to mask out the thing, but what we'll do is we'll just do a quick. Right, so that's hey, someone's behind you. File X. What we could do as well, just one last thing, is like invert this and be like, is that looking good? 100%. We've got some sort of aliasing going on, just in general. I'm gonna try and use soft brush and just clean those edges. This isn't my skill, so what I'm actually gonna do isn't my best skill doing art stuff. Can I cheat like the cheat button for this particular one? Yeah, because when you're out here, you're just gonna see all those ugly lines. The game is polygonal, so like a bit of me is like, oh, just go hacky, just be like, give it some noise on the other side as well. It's a danger icon. Whoa, oh, that's cool. Jaggies are intended. Jaggies are intended. That's pretty cool. And then what I can do as well in the material in the game is I can apply noise over the top again. Wavy noise or something to give it some life and color it in red, I guess. Let's see how it looks in red. Pretty cool. It's going to be a UI element, so I could play with having this element in the middle actually move as well. Quite cool. Just hide it. Export the one layer. Let's do that. File. Export. Export as PNG. Let's go P underscore. Danger close bar. And then we'll get the triangle bit. Copy that. New file. Click 2. Didn't come with the by the layer mask. Centered, file, export selected. Do close. Close those down, close this. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's start the new folder. So UX is fine. Item, new, danger close, widget, user interface widget blueprint, UMG underscore, danger close. Have an overlay, an image. And then the second image. This will be the bar. This will be the icon. Oh. So come back here, import 2 files from the pictures folder. It's these 2. Save those. We'll also do I was going to apply Paper 2D settings to this because that would just save me a bunch of time, but I guess I'm going to have to do it manually. So we need to set these up for a UI. So yeah, we have two separate things, so that's awesome. We'll go simple average, we'll go UI in here somewhere, user interface, that's the one. And I'm missing one. Missing an option somewhere. Ah, here it is, world, UI. So simple average UI. Those. Set this to desired so we can see it. We've got the bar here, and then we've got the icon. The bar itself, I think, was like 256 by 256. Yeah, sweet. Set the icon down at the bottom, middle, then red. We'll do it through color here. Actually, really do this in a material. Make it cheaper, but it's not. Right, okay, cool. That's that. Let's just add an animation. Pulse. Icon. We'll add some translation and scale. Okay, was that the whole transform? Yeah, sure. Okay. Keyframe, please. I can't tell if it's doing it. Scale. Usually it comes over a little dot. There's the dot. Right, the length of this animation is like. Do it here. Scale this up to like 2. Back down. The height will pop it up a few units. Up. Keyframe that. Back down. Okay, so on a loop. What would be a better animation here? A better animation would be like fast. Yeah, okay. So let's bring these back in. Zoom in on this. That's a little bit too much. I don't really like the translation, it's a bit much. Yeah, that'll do. Frequency wise, this end bar here, it's like way too far away. Danger, 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 danger. As for this icon bar, what I actually want to do is I do want to material to this because I think it's just going to look a lot better. So m_UI_ danger bar. We will grab this, bring it in. We'll add another texture, which is going to be noise. We will pan that in the UVs. Get the UVs, plug those in, get some timing values, plug that in. We're going to pan this in the x-axis by like 0.2. We'll multiply this by this and this by. Actually, we won't do that. We'll just plug. In fact, we'll just plug this straight into base color. We also need to turn this to UI. It also needs to be translucent. Yeah, translucent. So our final color is just 1 because we're going to color it in UMG. The opacity is going to be here like this. So now you can see you get this cool effect. It might need to be a little bit faster. No, that'll draw your attention. So that's that material. Pop that on here. We could always make this material instance in order to control it a bit more. It's a little bit yeah, we are going to need a material instance because we're now going to control the contrast, because you can see already it's a little too hard to see. So what we'll do is we'll multiply this by a value called noise multiply. Say it's 2 for now. We'll cheap contrast it. Say noise contrast. Use that as 0 to begin with. We'll then multiply this. Quick little tip for cleaning up your graph. We're going to name reroute this. Put this noise. Just put that in there now. Wrap this with a little comment box called noise. Make sure that we categorize variables, because we're going to start using instances. I want that to look nice. UVs, what I'll do as well, I feel like I might want to change the scale of it. So noise X scale, noise Y scale, or U scale, V scale, depending on what you want to use as your variables. I'm going to do 0.5 as the default, append these together. That's everything done there. Nice. Awesome. So next up we have the material instance that we made. Just save all of that. Get the material instance, apply that to our bar, which we already did. Open it up. Bring it down here, right. Oh yeah. One thing that I forgot to do that is obviously like pretty good to do is we'll copy this and just do noise X speed, noise Y speed, do 0 for X, 1 for Y, plug that into speed. Now, now as we change this, we can actually change the speed of it as well, so that'd be cool. Yep, awesome. I just have that open. All right. Contrast. A little less contrast, I say. Multiply. A little less more. Ah, a little more multiply. There we go. Little more speed. A little less speed. This is kind of like on the path to how you get like a Diablo like orb, right? Like you can imagine. Which is the kind of way you do that. I don't really know what language I'm going for here. I just know I need it to animate because I need it to capture the player's attention. Maybe not capture their attention too much. I love that we're saying everything to default is like, I actually prefer that. Go with that. We're going to stick that in game. That's going to be shown when there's an enemy behind you. And it's also going to obviously animate like this. And so in order to get that going, we grab that pulse, we play that animation. This isn't the best way to do a pulse. You would actually do it through a material. It would be cheaper to do it that way. Oh, one thing to not forget is to turn all of this into non-hit test, because we don't need it to affect the hit matrix of the UI, otherwise it's just going to cost more again. Okay, so number of loops is just 0. So say I add this to the UI, I'd actually like this to determine whether it should be shown. I want the integration of these updates for gods. us like working with them and the game's already released to be as seamless as possible. So I've got a little notepad going, and really, when we say like danger close indicator, it needs to just be one, add UMG underscore danger close to like, I guess it's called like UMG player head or something. Let's have a look. I worked on this project like 2 years ago. Still remember all the names. So that's going to go on there. So let's actually add it. Goes on the center there. Very cool. Cool little graphic. All right. Danger close. I wonder how often that's going to be there, and so we might make it. We might end up like putting it sort of further down, offsetting it a bit, so it's like a little bit further out your way, and then sort of having it like this might be a little bit nicer and a little bit flatter, actually. You know, like just the bottom of the screen. But for now, let's do what we said. Stick it on the screen. But actually, that's the beauty of the UMG, because I could definitely be like, oh, you know what? It's like 250 units added from the top. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, we could edit it in here. It'd be nicer. For now, I need to start coding the way in which this shows and unshows, and it would be a really bad idea to ask someone to put a sphere collider on every enemy in the game to overlap the player. But we could ask them to put an overlap on the player that overlaps every enemy. But similarly, you're going to trigger a lot of overlap events, like fairly consistently. I feel like there is an in-range event for an enemy going wag, wag, like running at you, and wag. That could be a good place to hook into. So, again, testing my memory from over 2 years ago. So let's go for a underscore taunt. Underscore taunt. Bunch of taunts here. I mean, that sounds pretty good. Let's go in there. Reference viewer. Voice set for the undead. It's 2. There's 2. Okay, well let's edit that one. Battle cry. Is there a way to find row references for this? No. Wonderful. Let's try Control F, battle cry, and we'll just try and find it in the entire project and see if that gives us anything. Oh, would you look at that, on rep telegraphing. That's perfect. Okay, so when he is telegraphing, he's going to do a battle cry. So that was the first intent, to help people know that there's an enemy behind you who's running at you, who's going to attack you, and you need to react, but has been proven to not work very well. So, need to do something else. This is the BP Polygon AI. That's the parent class we've seen today. That's the parent class of civilian. And we don't want this happening on them. Did the enemy have a parent class? Is it like Polygon AI? Okay, I can no longer just find assets in the browser. Okay, Control V just doesn't work anymore. That's not cool. There we go. I mean, he's a Polygon AI, for sure. I feel like there should be a polygon enemy. That is the most bizarre setup. It's like you may determine a hostage from a chief, but you may not determine a generic enemy from anyone else because they're all looped into this potentially. Let's go back to Dungeon Manager. This is the thing that like controls all the modes. So there's a mission in here. Arrest targets. Activate enemy spawners. Bind to gameplay markers for the arrest spawners. What does that mean? Yeah, look at this. Make an array of polygon AI and attach the person that you need to... Yeah. Okay. Yep, they're just polygon AI. That's bloody annoying. Basically means that you'd say, oh, we're going to add, say, something to the polygon AI, but then you need to go into the civilian and the other child classes and turn it off again. Although I guess only someone telegraphs, like hostages aren't going to telegraph, so that's okay. There's just nicer way. That would have been nicer if they extended from enemy. As a core class for enemy. Maybe instead of a skull might be more appropriate since that is what we use to indicate danger. Yes, good call. I'm going to do that right now while I think about how to implement this. We have a skull. Oh, there it was. It's gone. There it is. Let's grab this. In fact, I can literally just grab this, throw it in instead of this icon. We'll just make it a little bit bigger and a little bit smaller, a little bit further down. Yeah. That does look a lot nicer, thank you. Yeah, fits more with the UI. I do have an update for the UI to do in another stream, and we'll do that next week. Today was more about UX, and next week will be more about UI. Go call. Gotta keep that brand. All right, so how that wasn't long enough. That was too fast. I didn't have long enough to think about the other thing. I was worried that when I go on stream, that there will be times where I want to think critically about the best way to do something, and I'll just be sat there staring into the void, which you guys are privy to for the first time since I started streaming on Monday, of me just staring, thinking. Another thing that sucks about this system, there's no event. There's no like on telegraphing, so I can't externally get the enemy and then react to him telegraphing. So that's also annoying. Tell you what though, what changes telegraphing? A function called update telegraphing, which I spoke about earlier. It's a terrible function. On tick. We know where this is going. On figure should telegraph. On figure should telegraph. Wow. But don't look at code that you wrote 2 years ago now. There's an on rep, which unfortunately you can't bind into. Okay, so telegraph. Who's telegraphing? What's the actual condition? Just testing range. Yeah, I mean, sure. I add, is there a sphere on the player? That's the question to ask. 10. There's no sphere on the player, which makes sense. We don't want to be triggering things all the time. Look at the name of that component. That's but I remember that's how you determine whether they need to get up from their front or get up like from lying on their back when they've been knocked down. The ragdolls either are facing into the floor or facing up to the sky, and so we needed an arrow to determine that. I might opt for a sphere on this. It's the frequency that it's going to trigger incoming, and then we're going to use dot product to check that it's behind you, and then that's when we're going to turn on this element, and we're going to turn it off again. When are we going to turn it off? Jeez, yeah, so we're going to need to turn it off under some circumstance. We might be like, if they come into the volume, we're gonna check every second, let's say, if those characters are still behind you, and if they're not, then we can get rid of the element. And if they exit the volume, we can check if there's still anyone in the volume, if there's anyone behind you. We're gonna do this with a sphere component. Let's go. I think you can extend from sphere component. We're about to find out. The cool thing about the sphere component is we don't need to edit the player head, because we can just add it to the screen. As long as we add it at the right layer, because what we don't want is that you're in like a main menu and then it's above the main menu. Or we could just add it to the player head dynamically, which means there's like less steps. It's not like go here, add this, yada yada yada. Okay, so moving on. Let's see if we can make a sphere component. Isn't that an actor? Used to generate overlap events. Let's just go for it. It looks like it's a component class. BP underscore danger close sphere. If I remember correctly, we can check in the, not the editor preferences, we can check in the project settings, the collision channels for this game. We can have a look at, yeah, so we have characters, items, projectiles, volumes, and null. Those are object channels. You tell me we don't have like a channel for enemy. The problem with that is we need to trigger on. Well, let's go have a look. We have to trigger on like every pawn that enters, which is not so much of a problem because every pawn is basically an enemy. Mesh, object class, character mesh. Cool. Okay, so danger close sphere, collision properties, collision, custom, nothing, overlap character meshes. And step on, no. Generate overlap events, yes. Okay. You come down here and you say on actor. It is an actor. It is an actor. It's not the end of the world. On actor begin overlap. Let's do it. Oh, okay, don't want that. Event overlap. Event actor begin overlap. Okie dokie. Cast to. In fact, what we can do is we can say hashtag, and I think there's a tag that we give to enemies. Yeah, team 1. Cool. That's the tag team 1. I have to check this in a real map in a moment, but I'm pretty sure that's the tag. So A, the trigger only reacts to character meshes. B, when a character mesh enters, which is either a player, which is somewhat rare, or an enemy, which is a lot, or a hostage, we're going to ask if they're on basically the opposing enemy team. There's multiple teams in this game, so you can actually have like cross combat, a little bit like V Rising. If they're on that team, we're going to promote this to a variable. Here we go backwards. It's an array. We're going to add to the array. Similarly, we're going to remove from the array anytime event over event. If it's in team 1. Or even easier, it's just like, is that in the array? That doesn't really matter. It would be broader phase to ask if it's team 1. It would be less complex than asking if it's in the array, because the array might have 20 elements in it, and so every time someone comes in and out, you'd be like, go down the list, go down the list, go down the list, to find out whether it is contained. So this is a cheaper way, because we're just asking if it has a tag, and so that is a lot nicer. So we'll do that. Satisfy my OCD for a second. Okay, it's not going to play nice. Let's just do that. Okay, so here what we do is update danger close. We also need an init danger close UI, and we will begin play. It's on every player, so it's going to trigger for every player. We only want to generate one of these. We only want to listen to the one that you own. One of the problems with replicated environments is that the pawn can exist. I can know that the pawn exists. I can trigger its begin play and subsequently this sphere. That pawn can be out in the world. I can be a controller over here, and I haven't yet possessed that pawn. So on begin play, asking if the character which this sphere is on is mine or not, it's going to generally return false. And just delaying an arbitrary amount, like 2 seconds, is also not going to help, because different connections are slower. So you have to use an event. So let's do that. Get owner. Ask the character. We know this is going to be on the player. And so what we do is we assign to assign, receive, controller changed. And we say, is this local? Well, first we say, is this valid? Because it can actually trigger. If it is valid in the local, we can ask if it's a local player controller. That is a local player controller. We're good. Another thing we can do is we can get the controller here. We can call this function here, receive controller changed. We can plug that into new controller. And what this means is that in the first frame, we're going to say, hey, if the controller changes, we're going to double check if the new controller is mine. We're going to start listening. Also immediately ask if the controller is already valid, because the opposite of what I said as a problem a second ago is the opposite direction. Everything can have initialized perfectly before you came. So you want to also run this function in the anticipation that everything is already ready. And then so this runs on the first frame. It comes in, it may be valid. It runs through. It will also trigger off this anytime it changes in the future. So latency is handled. We come through local player. If it's me, this is what I would actually do is I would disable the collision on this entirely. no collision. So this doesn't even do anything on other players. And then what we do is we set collision enabled. Factor enable. Oh, come on. Oh, it'll be this component. Sorry. Set collision enabled to query. Is not physics. No, physics only. Physics only. Query only is used for overlaps. Sweet. Okay, so it's query only. So now we have an even cleaner component that definitely only runs on the owning player of this character. Turns on, starts running this stuff. So now we have that update danger close UI. We also have, init danger close UI as well. So let's hook all these up. Anytime that this array changes, we want to update the danger close UI because someone may be behind us. Anytime someone exits, we want to run this because they may no longer be behind us, so we may need to turn it off. Additionally, in here we're going to say if there are people still in here, we need to every second check if they've ran in front of us to also turn it off. So we'll handle that after, but first we're going to init the UI. So what we do is we create a widget. It's going to be the danger close UI. We're going to add that to the viewport. We're going to find references to this function and find out which layer, which Z order our HUD and our menus are on. So that we can make sure that we add this in the right place. Oh, great, there's a HUD stack. That's... Okay, so what we'll do instead is we will first get HUD. Get player controller. We know we're local now, so we can use get player controller 0. We can get their HUD. That's stacked to some kind of BP HUD, which I guess is this one. Get the player HUD. Please tell me it's cached. It's not cached. How do you get the player HUD in this game? Player HUD. Let's jump in here, find references to this. In the common stack. Of course, I made a stack for this game. Hey, let's try and get stack then instead. Where were we? We're in danger close. Now what I'll do is, I'll just move this all the way. Let's get the stack. Can we get the stack? Oh, we can get the stack. Just get the stack, I guess. Is there a way to get the player HUD from that? No. I don't know how to do this in this game. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope it's enjoyable and interesting for you. If you've got any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer anything while I fumble around a codebase that is all but dusty and ancient. Let's have a look at this comment stack. What's this? This is the common stack. It has a stack menu and a stack modal. How would one get player HUD? There's some fun code in here, that's for sure. But look at all these drop-down casts. This is desperate. This is desperate. Okay. Okay, we're going to do the simpler thing. We're going to do the quicker, simpler, not too dangerous thing, because we're only doing it once, which is get user widget of class. Widget. Get all widgets of class player HUD. It's only going to find one. It's already indexed through, I can't remember, it was in a GDC call. it's essentially hashed. It's not top level. Let's just get that. Assuming it's valid. And if it's not valid, we will set a time by event to try again. Init. Why am I typing init? Okay. We'll do that again in 0.5 seconds because it's going to be valid pretty soon. Okay, once we get this, let's just pull this up. Well, I'll not use the reroute key anymore. Okay, I can't use the reroute key anymore. Get overlay or some kind of... Is that not a variable? It's not a variable. I can't add to it. Can't add to the player HUD. All right, simplest, even simpler. Let's not try and add it to that. We can't add it to the player HUD. It's not allowed to edit the classes. So instead, what we're going to do is we are going to add this directly to the viewport. And to be safe, we're going to add it to the Z order of -1, which is like likely to be below everything, and we'll find out in testing. Okay, so that gets added. Promote to variable danger HUD, I guess. That's cool. Okay, now we can actually code the final bit. So on overlap, on stop overlap, update danger close. We have an array of overlappers for each of these with a break, because we only need to do this until we know if someone's behind us, I suppose. Then we know it's going to be on, so we can break early. We don't need a break. We're in a function. I don't really like for each with break. If I do it in a function, I can just return at any time, and it's a lot cleaner than having to wire up a line that crosses across all the graph. Okay, so overlappers, actor location. Another thing that we should do, really, is cache our character. Leave controller changed. Oh, our character is just our owner. Easy. Okay, so we'll also get the active location of our owner. In between those two. Get the unit direction vector between these two. We're going to dot product that against this actor's viewport. Anything. Well, it's an X vector, but then we're going to multiply that vector by XY, and we don't care about pitch basically. We just care that they're behind you. We don't care if they're behind and above or behind and below. We just care that they're like somewhere behind you. They could be up on a ledge behind you, so you're still going to turn around. So same for this actually. We don't care about the dot product. We don't care about testing pitch up into the air or down into the ground. We just want planar checks in this case. So we do need to normalize these. We do that. Pop that down here. Now we dot product these. And then because dot product is fun, I'm going to print and then I'm going to do the logic afterwards. So there's only one guy in this level, so that's fine. Let's add that to our player. Add danger. Nope. Let me do that. Okay, go here. You watch me not be able to add this to my character. Oh no. It went somewhere. Danger close sphere. I should probably add it to the mesh. Oh, it needs to turn off when you're down. You don't want it flashing while you're on the ground, waiting for revive, because that would be annoying. That I'm sure there's a binding for. Oh, no, I do want it on the mesh. Thank you. Okay. How big is that sphere there? make sure that sphere is of a size that we're happy with. So we'll say 5 meters, 10 meters, 10 meters. It is going to flash when they're behind you behind a wall. So I might actually need to cast to them as well. That's what it is. Okay, so there's our danger close sphere. I realise now, after doing this, that a danger close box would have been fine, and I won't need to do dot product. I could save a lot of time and effort if I just do a box that is like literally behind the player. And then that saved dot product based logic. So what the dot product is going to do is just test that it's behind us, but we can know it's behind us by using a box and offsetting it. So let's do that. Can I reparent this to box? I can. Thank God. Okay, now it's a box. How CC. Right. So we said let's do 500. Please don't crash. Oh. Well, I'll be right back while that is resolved. For anyone wondering, I pressed Ctrl Z. It's always the worst thing you can do. And we're back. Danger close box. Okay. Enemy is back. Meters go. They're also going to. There. I'm not going to crash this time. Danger close box. Maybe it only needs to be 5 meters up and down. So an enemy is like running at you. It's like, it's actually maybe way too far away. I'm just guessing. It can be tweaked. That's the point. Point is, we're not going to know until we play. So whether it's like the right stuff. So either way, now we've saved ourselves a bunch. we don't need to care about the dot product anymore. We're not actually going to be using it for angle. We know that much. If someone is in this box, if this is valid. Danger HUD set visibility. Selector of this. Be the bit that I need. This is empty. If it is empty, this is collapsed. If not, it is hit test invisible. Cool. Now I don't need to run a loop either to check if someone ran in front of me but are still in the sphere, which would be a stupid design. You just have to run that check all the time. You have to loop through all the characters. Now I just know that if they're in it, it's on. If they're out of it, it's off. Easy. You could also change this technically to a different type of actor that has like a unique collision that you want, like a cone or whatever you want to do. But we'll use a box. Let's play. Oh yeah, one thing about this that I remember is if they're not moving. Hey, that looks pretty cool. It's added to the screen, but it's visible immediately. Do this. I think I know the problem. I think when I crashed, I left that in there. Definitely a guy behind me. So what we need to do is click here. Not beginning play. Another thing, never forget this. Turn tick off. Turn a component tick off. Don't let your stuff tick. Character template player has a BP danger close box on it. Danger close box. Right there. Why would the begin play not trigger? Oh, there we go. Next, who's the owner? Is there not an owner? Okay, so this is one of those things again where this is why I hate actor. If you're using, which is essentially a child actor, by the way, this is a child actor component. It can take a second to initialize itself. It can take a second to give ownership to the parent. And in a replicated environment, those are all bad things. So instead of using owner, we're going to use attached parent. And then we should hit this node. There we go. So attached parent actor is known because this component definitely knows what it's attached to. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to init danger close UI. We're going to check these functions are also running. So we actually got. Oh, of course. Of course, you have the tag. Team 1. Of course you do. I'm going to need to double check the tag setup for the game because my player is Team 1. Team 0? Maybe it's like Team 0 is no one, Team 1 is players, Team 2 is enemies, or Team 0 is neutral, Team 1 is players, Team 2 is enemies. Also, I've stupidly used the search functionality that Epic created for blueprints, which if your blueprints have a ton of reference chain loops and stuff, it's just basically going to crash. I might have to relaunch the editor again. But we'll give it a sec. See, is it going to wake up? Well, let's finish this. Drag BP underscore danger box. Polygon? No. BP? Slept to be behind. Right. That's all you got to do for the daemon. Okay. I'm going to close unwrap because. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. We're back. It's like Task Manager. If I'd have opened Task Manager, it would have been like, no, don't close me. I know I've been going for another hour because my music stopped again. Just restart that because play that same song again. Great. I actually don't know what team the enemy's going to, what tags the enemy's going to be on. Let's find all references to actor has tag, and maybe there's something in the code base that will educate us. Watch there not actually be a tag. There's a marker system in this game, like a spawn marker, gameplay marker. That's about right. I think like when it spawns an AI, gives it a tag. No? Okay. Something about teams. There's got to be something about teams in this logic. So can I just like get team? Team? Ah, this is annoying. Okay, let's go. Let's go play the game. Let's go play the game, and then we can determine it from the outliner while we're playing. So we'll go to the lower city. Play. Ooh. Take a minute. To be fair, this is the first time I've launched this map. I've opened this project in 2 years. So you can see in the top left, it's like, oh yeah, I should load all of that. I should load all of that. Got some AI. Reply to some emails. Oh, that's weird. A red thing at the bottom of my screen there. Oh right, yeah, because I'm team 1. Yeah. Oh, and I've added it to the screen, but I forgot to set the anchors. Okay, anyway, so the point was to run the game. because now what I can do is go here. I can look at the outliner, and everything in yellow is stuff that got spawned at runtime. I can look for polygon, AI, tag, check his tags. Alright, so they have the tag team 1 and AI. Player has the tags team 1 player. I guess we move to a team component at some point though, because that wouldn't make any sense. That tag is terrible. Team component. Players team 0. Polygon AI. Find the team. Team 4. Wow. That's a significantly different team. Well, now we know. Now we know. Know for certain. Fix that one bug that we saw. So we will set the anchors. Split that. Set it to the middle of the screen, which is just 0.5 center, 0 to 1. We will also set the alignment to 0.5.5. That means it's in the center of the screen, but it's not anchored from like the top left or the top right. It's anchored from the dead center, or aligned from the center of the widget. So now that's going to be on screen where we actually wanted it. When we update, or rather when we check if we should add this person, I'm gonna get comp class team, get team. I get team of that is not equal. Civilians. Team E1. I wonder if it even says team component team 3. I'm going to check one more thing. DT Ailstead. Wondering if these have a team in here. Yeah, they do. So they're going to set themselves up on a team. So we've got all these rebels and stuff. I just type in team. Smart. That was really smart. A. Oh, the data is all the way over here, and then the other data is the row name. I need the row name. Okay, so team 0 is guards and guards unarmed. Armed, sorry. And we've got a bunch of people that are on team 1, which are, civilian folk on team 1. So it just needs to be anyone who's more than or above. I see, yeah, the idea of these cautious guys, but that doesn't really matter. Team 2 and above, that's fine. We could do that. As long as it's more than or equal to 2. What we can do as well is we can literally just remove it. It's going to try and go through and remove it, and then if it does or not, do that way. Don't know if this is more expensive than, well, getting a component is expensive, so let's just do this. It's negligible anyway, I think, generally speaking. What? What? He's right behind me? What? Okay, and so the next thing to do is, rather than flashing it on and off screen, a better UX would be to have it turn its a better system design would be to have it turn itself off, therefore someone can go in and change the behavior of it in the widget. And B, a better UX, I feel, would be that if it came on screen, it should at least be there for like its default duration of like a second or so, and then fade itself out nicely, rather than like flash on, flash off, flash on, flash off. That's going to be annoying. So we'll have a kind of a little bit of a delay in there. Okay, so Danger HUD itself, we're going to go and add some more functionality to that. We're almost done, by the way, so if you want to hang around until the end of the stream, ask any questions and stuff, now's the time. Now is the time. Okay, so just double checking on our promises. Danger close indicator, yep, this, yep, cool. That's everything. Get that pushed to their Steam ASAP. And that'll be our first indie team on the roster there. Okay, so we're on the home stretch now. It's getting late. We're almost there. We're looking at the UI for Danger Close. We want to have a fade. We're going to fade the render opacity of this asset. We're going to hang for a second, and then we're going to fade out. The idea of that is that is the hang time. So if we end up calling this again and restarting this event to go away for any reason, it just slowly fades out for a second, and then we just play it back whenever we want to turn it back on. The custom event visible. Add a condition into there. If it's visible, we're going to play. So we're going to actually different animation fade. We're going to play forward, play animation forward, and we're going to play animation reverse. The cool tip for this is plays an animation relative to the current position. Is nice if you want to go in the opposite direction at any time, which may be the case in some cases. Is that visible? It's visible if it's not empty. That here. Now the owner of state is the actual asset, which is nice. We just call functions on it. Yeah, so we're just going to set render opacity here, like the moment we spawn. That's fine. Cool. Oh, sorry, I did it the wrong way around. It's got to be this way around. Because it's fade, not appear. Yeah. Silly me, basically.
Charge!
Of course, now it doesn't work at all. Do something wrong. I'll tell you why. Update this. Set visible. Oh. When I quickly fixed an issue there, I actually made the entire widget invisible. Yeah. Oh. It's done something bizarre. It's done it's engine and I'm out of drink.
Think about it right now. Everything's okay. No matter where you find yourself, no matter what kind of stuff is going on in your life,
Not even full summer yet, so when the heat really hits, I'm sure my engine's gonna really
you're okay.
not like me.
You have more power than you might be giving yourself credit for. And if you have something that's going on in your life right now that's challenging, painful, it's just a reminder to take a little bit better care of yourself. It's worth it. You can have this feeling anytime you choose.
For the horde!
That feels nice. It's like kind of fades in, fades out.
Yeah!
So the next thing I think is that like
Yeah!
it might be a little bit too central. It might want to be a little bit further down. And so the way we're going to do that is we're going to add from the top, we're going to add 100 padding, 50 padding. We're also going to scale this widget in the X a little bit for the bar to just give it that a little bit more of a sort of fisheye or oval shape, basically. Whatever. Yeah. I get tired.
This better be good. Yeah!
Plus, it's a little bit further away from those shields now, which is nice. It definitely gets your attention. Okay, so how far away? Yeah, cool. Okay, so one thing I've realized as well is, let's say that guy's behind a wall. I could basically walk up to a building. I have no idea who's in the building. Turn around and be like, there's enemies in that building. I can smell it through the back of my head. So we're going to need to do some casts, which is a shame because it was real cheap for a second there. Okay, so rather than just does it have people in it or not, what it now needs to do, is check if you have line of sight to them, basically, and it does need to do sort of like a 1 second or 2 second kind of tick over to check this information, because it can be the case, an edge case can now occur once we add the line of sight check in to stop it from appearing when they're through walls. A new edge case is going to occur where, oh, they were through the wall, they're in the box, nothing is triggering an update because someone hasn't left, someone hasn't entered, you've just turned around, or sorry, maybe they kicked open a door and actually came through at you, or you walked through. Either way, there is obviously an inherent problem there. So now, for every single person that's in here, I need to do a line of sight check. I think it's called LOS. Oh no, line of sight 2. So we're going to get player controller. I'm actually going to cache this so we don't have to get it every single time. I'm going to promote this to a variable, just call it my controller. That means we don't have to do get player controller every single time, which of course is a function. It has unknown quantities of complexity in the back end. Of course, we expect it to be quite cheap, but we never know. So we'll cache it. Although that said, if it was cheap, then we're just caching it, we're just making more memory. So I guess I should go check the C++, but we don't have the source. Anyway, back to the nitty-gritty part. Take this controller. It's from me to that actor. If there's a guy behind me and I have got line of sight, then it is visible and we are returning, because we don't need to check anyone else, because we've found that we've got a person who is behind us. if we get to the end of the function, everyone failed the line of sight check. Viewpoint. Oh, fun. Get failure. This is got to be cheap. And then just gonna guess. Just guessing. Player viewpoint. What's the difference? Oh, lovely, lovely, jubbly. Okay. So from the player to the overlapping enemy, do I have line of sight? If I do, show. Cool. If we've added someone here, we're going to set a timer by an event. Okay, that didn't work. Set timer. Set timer for an event, and the event is to update danger close. We do it immediately because we want to do it immediately. 1 second, every 1 second looping with a handle. So this is the call it the check handle. We're going to clear this handle later, so we don't keep looping this. Clear and invalidate the timer if this is empty. Happy days. So now let's just check it works the same as before. So I turn around, that's all good. What if there's a box in the way? That's also good. Now let's put a wall in the way. Oh wow, the check didn't work. Another check I want to check is that it doesn't do it when I look at her. Well, when she's behind me. Okay, so the line of sight check didn't work. Update danger close UI. Go through the overlappers. Do I have line of sight? I do. My controller has... Did you do that? It's a lie. I don't have line of sight. Really change this to be a little bit more verbose. Set visible. Visible. If it's visible, then we reverse to make it visible. Otherwise, we fade it out. Forward. Only one crash. Yeah, only one crash. I did pretty good today. I should really keep a tally. I had a crash on a stream the other day. So now I'm at 2. I'm at 2. And I'll just keep a whiteboard or something. How many crashes can we reach? Not intentionally, of course. Pretty good at having like a third sense or sixth sense for how to avoid a crash, and 90% of it is not pressing Control Z. Or being really careful about when you paste something. So if you've got something in your clipboard and you're in a certain tool in Unreal and you paste it, it'll just be like, no, then explode, because it's like you just tried to paste animations into a material graph and then it will explode. So being really diligent on your key presses, basically. Why isn't this working? I'm upset. Okay. We'll begin, add, update. What? Not visible. Reverse the animation. Still not visible. Reverse the animation again. No. Okay. Just gonna wait for it. Apparently it's stuck again. Yeah, well, this is where we're at. We're at Unreal just overheating or something. How many hours are we on this stream? We're 3.5 hours. That it was quite a long stream. I do want to call it at 5 o'clock. Then offline, I'll prepare the update for Steam. I'm not going to do that online because there's sensitive information in there. And then next week we will do the UI probably. We'll take a look at that. Wednesday we'll sync back up with the team to show them progress. It would be really nice if Unreal would just uncrash. Uncrash for me, please. Before I close you. I'm whipping out the big guns. It's Task Manager. You gonna react now? I'll do it. I'll do it. There you go. You're dead now. Right. Let's open Unreal again. Yeah, there's something about reversing the animation, despite it not having been played. It just starts at the end and then maybe just reverses itself, which means I need to actually track the state of whether it's on or off, and then we're done. Then we're at a place where hopefully Wilderzone can say yay or nay. We're at a place where we're good to push it to the gamers, to the gods community. Speaking of, if you are not following gods, there is a Discord for gods. They are also working on a spiritual successor to Monster Hunter, I think, that also has the DNA of gods and the things learned in that game, and big bosses, stuff like that. So that's really cool. Go check out that library there of games from Wilderzone. And then we need to do some work on our title cards, because this just says hip it. But yeah, so this is cool. While we wait for the editor to open, we might be able to go and check out the news. It's their most recent news. Cool. Some update stuff. Timers. Timers were a problem. This is cool. Nice bit of discussion around that game. Are we up? Are we up? It's gonna take a hot minute. Should have put this on. Oh no. It's like we're gonna have a break and we're back. So 2 asset editors closed. Let's open. Hope it doesn't crash again in the process. Five minutes and counting. It's almost time to close the PC and touch grass. This is good. This looks good. This not good. I'm gonna disconnect this and see what happens. I wonder if my level still has the brick wall in it. Probably not, hey? Yeah. Oh, it's visible. It's still visible. It's still visible. It's probably not a good thing. Cool. Let's put the brick wall back in. Say brick wall. It's just a cube. Yeah, cool. I mean, we're not triggering this now, right? Cool. Just triggering this, which is saying that. Oh, yeah, okay. Maybe we are going to put this show. I'm going to put all of this the other way. Like that. Close this out. Here. Flip these over. Yeah, so we were playing the animation forward from the beginning to hide the asset, which meant we would basically play it even though it was invisible. So that was silly. Okay, so we turn. Oh, come on. Not what I wanted. I want it to play reverse from the place it was. And of course, the place it was on the timeline when visibility was false, which is this one. Should be like, well, nowhere. If the animation is playing, this function will reverse the code. Yeah. It says plays an animation relative to its current state. It hasn't been played, so its state is at 0, and play it from 0 backwards. Playing this animation from 0 backwards means this happened, like nothing. It just looks like that. Maybe I needed to compile it. Maybe that was the problem. No, of course not. It's just gonna... Okay, so all that means, sadly, is I need to do a bunch of state management in here. Promote to variable. We say it is visible. Okay, that's not allowed. Visible. And then what we do in here is if this is not equal to visible, it's a binary basically. I think it's called a binary condition or something. If this is not equal, then we will change it, and then we will use it as a condition to change. And of course, it's not visible by default. So it comes in. That's cool. So this is the issue. It's like I'll run along, I turn. It's like, oh, I can hear something there. And then if I go around the corner, whoa! Oh, we're done. We got it all. So the only other thing I think is necessary is to add a tutorial for, oh yeah, so we've got the green health thing. This is actually in the zone. So if I move this out the zone, things missing now. The idea was that it's now supposed to glow. Double check that is glowing to begin with. Yeah, cool. And then if it goes in the zone, it stops glowing because that's the end of the mission. That's everything. That is the stream. We set out with the mission to resolve some UX issues from a kickoff that we did with guards where we played the game. We met with them a second time. We reviewed a punch list that was generated in a rather slapdash way. It will be a little bit more organized next time in slides based on some feedback that we did afterwards. Thanks to Wilder Zone and Aidan for that feedback as well. Then today we began first pass on those iterations in a way that should be simple to integrate for their team and move if they want to move it, re-implement it in any way they want. But basically all you have to do is add the component to the right things, set up the materials, and then for the that's for all the color-based stuff. And then for the danger close box, it's just drop this danger box onto the mesh component of the BP character template and offset it to be behind them. And one thing I could even do for that is record a video showing the full process if they need that. But that's the integration for these ones. Keep it simple, keep it sweet, keep it straight to the point. Don't make too many classes, and I think everyone will have a good time. So yeah, danger outline, critical item glow, danger close indicator. We have better UX coming for guards. So thanks everyone for watching. Warzone, if you have anything that you need me to say, go check out Hunters Inc. Bring it up. I'll bring it up now. I know that he's working on that. That's coming out to Steam Next Fest very soon. Hunters Inc. The one. Because my internet is incredibly slow. I'll pull that back over here for a sec, I suppose. There we go. Now we're live. Now we're cooking. What does this do? That doesn't do anything. Okay, so let's close out with a little shout out to these guys on their next game, which of course has UX improvements from their first game, Guards, which we're iterating on today. I haven't been involved in the development of this one. I have been involved on the development of Guards, which is why I know a little bit about the code base from like 2 years ago, ancient memory. But yeah, good luck to this game. We'll keep an eye on it. It's coming to Steam Next Fest this June. It should be like the 20-something, I guess. It is the next Steam Next Fest. It's best June. June 26th. That's actually quite a while. Like 26 days. Yeah, you could break it between now and then. I'm joking. I'm jinxing you. No, I'm joking. I've definitely broke games in that amount of time. I'll tell you that. Been there on the last minute, like biting like a knife, just like, oh my god. What do you call it? Biting your knuckles? Oh. Yeah.
Here we go, boy.
I recognise that name. That was a mapper that we once used to know. It was a great mapper. I recognise that skull, maybe.
Incoming.
Wait a second. Ironically, one of the updates that we might do to the UI for guards is a vertical based box like this, and then having the dead when a teammate is down, like a red glow on here, because it's going to be more visible than like a horizontal bar.
Incoming.
And additionally, top right there, we can see the objectives. We said the same thing in the breakdown of the guards UI. It was like, it needs to have a border, and it needs to like have hierarchy. It needs to be something more important than just text on the screen. So that's quite funny. We're doing that next week. For the Horde! Legally distinct. One thing I would love to see more of in this trailer is progression, like awesome characters and stuff. I think I saw something like, the reason I say this is because I saw like guild master at some point. So it's like hunt, gather, all this cool stuff. Fight in, hunt in, guildmaster Gobbo there. And they had like a top hat and stuff. I was like, yeah, like what do I do when I'm not killing? It's got to be like a reason, right? Like a background narrative or something. So that'd be the only thing that would grip me even more. It'd be like, oh yeah, because I want to go kill the things because I want to do the other thing. I want to, what's it? It's always kill things to get better, to kill more things to get even more better. Gamers. Yeah, okay, I'm closing out the stream. I'm gonna leave it on in chat for a bit, about 5 minutes or so, and then I will be back next Monday, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. PST with another set of iterations possibly on the UI. That'll be a lot quicker because that's just layout, that's like some bordering for elements. There's not actually like technical work involved, it's just reorganization. So that'll be a good one. That'll be about an hour, and then I might jump into some rapid game dev on like just Unreal base content, or we can identify a bunch more stuff with guards to do as well. I do need to add it to the tutorial about the red glow because that will be basically you won't really know what it means unless you get told. So I need to add that to the tutorial. Yeah, cool. Thanks for joining, everyone. Awesome. See you next time.